The international break, thankfully, is over.
Yep.
Give us one thing that is definitely going to happen this weekend.
For those that missed Grumpy Pundits on Sirius XM channel 157 on Thursday and Fridays is Rennie and Dunny Take America, or we call it Week in the Tackle takeover, if you will, of Grumpy Pundits. Tom Rennie was in a really good mood. Tom Rennie went for a run. Tom Rennie had happiness on his face. I decided to call him Tom Henny because I had a slip of the tongue, and it actually was pretty funny and started making sense and sticking. Because Tom Rennie showed up about 10 minutes after Tom Henny had said his hellos and was all full of glee and optimism because the international break had meant that West Ham was not playing. So for my prediction that's going to happen this weekend, Tom, I will see the reverting of Tom Rennie back to utter piss and vinegar, salty pants, and sad face after the weekend when you draw and drop even more points at the Bowl of Disappointment at home against Southampton.
Do you know, we haven't played for 16 days, and the game we played was the Conference League game. I actually didn't watch it because I just needed the break because I went to Aston Villa the weekend before, and I was like, you know what? I can't watch this complete schlock anymore. I hate to see football that is just played so gutlessly and spinelessly, and they just like they're better players than what we've seen, but they don't win games because they're not brave, and maybe that's coaching. I just don't know at this point. But I got over it. I've been on holiday, went for a run. I've eaten reasonably well, that sort of stuff. And then the West Ham Instagram page posted a picture of Lucas Paqueta, who I just can't stand.
Wheels fell off.
And it was a picture of him in like a snood. Now, the training ground's only about 10 minutes max from me down the road where they train at Rush Green. On the old site, I think, of the hospital I was born in, actually, in Rush Green. Now I think about it. Anyway, and it's him in like a snood round his face. And the admin has done a post. I hate the admin. And it was cold. It was like, cold Lucas with a smile, right? And it's a bit like, I live up the road. It's not cold. It's not cold. So what you're showing me is Lucas Paqueta being so gutless and spineless that he has to wear a snood in T-shirt weather. Just like, no, right? No. What I want to see is him walking out to training in like shorts and a T-shirt, showing me he's got the guts for a relegation battle. Instead, it's all top banter. It's all banter. We're having a bants because he wants to put a scarf on. Or there was one about Declan Rice not having his hair cut during international break. No, guys, you've utterly shanked this season. And I think lack of effort is right up there with bad tactics. A complete lack of endeavour and belief about the way they've played. But the admin's like, we've been 18th for 2.5 weeks. Ha! Cold, Lucas? Are you cold, Lucas?
Just wait till you see the Tilo Kehrer post.
Oh. So yes, okay, fair enough. Tom Henny returns this weekend. It's definitely going to happen. For me this weekend, I tell you what's going to happen. I think you're definitely going to see this weekend. I think you're going to see the start of 100% records to the end for the two teams at the top of the Premier League table. I don't see Manchester City dropping a single point from now until the end. I don't see Arsenal dropping a point for the rest of this season from now until the end. Why? Because everything before this point was foreplay. Everything before this point was build up. Everything before this was anticipation. Everything before this was the drums before the bass comes in. And now we're at the point where we're there. We're at peak. We're pinnacle. We're at the chime of New Year on New Year's Eve. We're at the bit where the person whose birthday it is turns up for the surprise party. The stripper is about to jump out of the cake in Under Siege. We're about to see those two luscious breasts being covered up by Steven Seagal because she doesn't know that Gary Busey and Tommy Lee Jones have taken the ship. That's where we are now. And I think that we're going to see, the old saying would be, and in a sexist world, we're going to see the men from the boys here. And I think those two teams are the only men in this entire league. And I think they're going to win all the way through. And we're going to finish with the current gap there is. And we're going to see two teams finish over 90 points this season. So I think that begins this weekend.